А для меня большую роль в восприятии этой картины играла вот эта нищая, разрушенная, заброшенная среда, которая говорит мне о том, что там другой судьбы быть не может. Как вы к этому относитесь, к этому моему впечатлению?
Вот эта вот разруха, она была уже в конце, когда у нее уже и руки опустились, когда и двор зарос, и когда там было, в самом деле, и дом плохо пах, да. Но в самом начале, когда она еще пекла хлеб, там была совершенно другая атмосфера.
Но дом был тот же?
Дом был тот же, но, как-то, вы знаете, они их не строят, не выстраивают, и им уютно, у нее было очень чистенько, у нее не было нищеты, она получала хорошую пенсию, получал сын, и там у них свиньи были, ей 90 лет, кстати. В описании, в каталоге написано, что ей 80, она скончалась, ей было 91 год, и до, последний год, вот когда она очень сдала, когда у нее сын умер, у нее было 27 свиней, она была одна, и Вова ей не очень помогал, потому что он был немножко, у него тоже свои проблемы были, в 90-х годах он работал в Сибири и ехал с таким мешком денег домой, его избили, и он потерял немножко разум, да, и он был невеликим помощником, и все хозяйство было на ней до последнего. И я думаю, она даже так под матрасом у нее было кое-что.
А почему вы этого не показали, этих свиней?
Я их тогда не снимала, я была только с ней.
Да.
Но она была очень-очень активная, ее внуки рассказывали, что она, когда она картошку копала, они не успевали за ней, и она была очень в серьезном, классном состоянии в такие годы.
Где живут ее внуки?
Борзя — это примерно 1,5 часа от нее. Нет, это такая современная молодежь, правнуки уже, так сказать, скорее всего, да. Племянница к ней приезжала 2 раза в неделю, но в последнее ее время за ней ухаживала одна женщина из села. Да, каждый день там ее и мыли, и кормили.
Да.
Я хотела бы спросить, вы, может быть, уже думали, как бы вы поступили в ее ситуации, и как бы можно было это изменить ее.
Я думаю, важно именно, у нас все равно есть выбор. И я не могу судить, я не была в ее состоянии, но при похожих состояниях мы все были в какой-то ситуации обижены, нам всем причиняли боль. Да, мы как-то, люди, это относится к жизни. Но я лично не принимаю это никогда, потому что моя жизнь недостойна того, чтобы прожить ее в обиде, чтобы сказать, вот плохая жизнь. Это все равно наш выбор. Как бы то ни поворачивало, это наш выбор.
Даже если настолько сильно и обидно было,
да? Да. Я говорю, я не могу за нее отвечать, но я бы не приняла.
Может быть, мы к Приднестровью перейдем тогда. Спасибо большое.
Вам спасибо.
Анна идет к нам. Итак, Приднестровье и ваши вопросы. Готовьтесь. Есть ли какие-то вопросы? Я не очень вижу, честно говоря, из-за лампы там.
Почему Приднестровье и почему пленка?
Why Transnistria and why film itself?
It was...
Sorry, excuse me, please, I have to ask. Мне нужно переводить с английского? Наверное, нет. Нет, да. I will not translate.
Okay. Film I've been working for, this is my 4th movie, and my first one was a digital movie, and my second one was a mix between digital and 16mm, and my third movie Lida that was shown here in Riga was mostly 16mm, and then this one I decided to do everything on 16mm. So it's been developing a technique for a few years, and with this project I started shooting 16 even in the first developing. I shot Bolex for developing, and then I shot with a bigger camera during the actual shooting. And why Pridnestrovье? Well, it had to do with my previous movie, which was about an old woman in the eastern part of Ukraine, and she has some Swedish heritage, and that was the reason I was in the region. And I made a movie with her, that I worked for almost 7 years on this film. And she mentioned Pridnestrovье to me several times, but I didn't quite, it took me some time before I realized that it's Pridnestrovье and Transnistria and Moldova. So it was like a continuation of she inspired me to go to this place in Moldova, and it had also to do with I wanted to work with young people again, and I had this idea that maybe the movie should be about the people who was born at the same time as this country was created. And I say country, but then they were like 25 years old, and then I thought that the 17, 18-year-olds were more interesting. So it was a very specific, eager for me to work with young people and to work with love and to work with something in contrast to the very slow movie I had done previously.
Mhm. I would like to ask you, how did you manage to get so close to them? How did they allow you to be so close and to capture their life and situations between them and these interactions? Я спросила, как они ее так близко подпустили, на всякий случай.
I think it has to do a lot with, I insist a lot, and then not so much that I insist on them to be in a certain way, but more that I insist that a scene is gonna happen. If I am working in the right location, and if I feel that the characters that I work with, the subjects, that they are, like Tanya, when I met her, she's so strong of a person that it's impossible for me to change very much in her character, but how can I shoot her and make her feel like she's the coolest and the best girl ever? And so it's a collaboration in the end of letting the people in front of the camera feel at ease, but it has to do very much with us as a team. I do the sound and I direct, and then I have a cinematographer, Virginie Surde. She's from Poland, half Polish, half Belgium, and we have this. I mean, we dance around the people that we shoot, not the other way around. So they cannot really do any mistakes. The people that can do mistakes is me or Virginie.
You don't speak Russian. How do you understand them? What was important for you when you just listening their live speech? How could you understand it?
I think I understand quite a lot when I am on set. When you're in the middle of a shoot and for several weeks all you hear is Russian or Romanian, and the only people who I hear talking is this group every day. So, and I've been so much in both in Ukraine and Russia, so I have some knowledge of the language even though I don't speak it. But I have an interpreter with me on set so we are always 3 people, and the interpreter is also like a camera assistant. He helps Virginie sometimes. It's either a girl, it's either a woman or a man. But so it's true. I mean, if there is something that I have doubts about, I ask the interpreter to translate for me. But usually, the person I direct the most is actually the interpreter, because he needs to know exactly what I like, what I want, what I appreciate, and if it's like he has to know, he goes like maybe not, Anna, or so we have a kind of a language, silent language on set. Yeah.
It's a very interesting soundtrack in the film. I wondered if where is it from, or maybe you did it by yourself. The soundtrack.
It's I always edit myself, so the sounds kind of comes into the movie when I edit, and it's also a continuous research that I do, that I pick up music that the characters in the movie that they listen to, that is on the radio maybe in the area, or what people listen to. And then there is a big dose of impulses that I have when I'm editing. And then I have also a composer, his name is Walter Hus, and he did like those kind of sounds in the beginning of the film. There is music, and there is like when you see the different titles, this is also a piece that he created, and then I have like made a big reference of different music that I like. It's difficult to explain, but I have I usually like the music to give the movie some energy occasionally, and if there is some part of the film that is maybe more fictionalized, it could be those music pieces, because they are definitely put there by me.
I have two questions actually. One is how did the story or narrative for you develop? Was it you had a very fixed idea in the beginning, or did it sort of develop while shooting or more in the edit? And the second question is, if it developed more during the shooting and the editing, how did you finance it?
So I only had the idea about a love story, and I was like street casting, trying to find young people who wanted to be in a documentary film. And I meet Tanya, and she has this group of friends, and they are all boys, and there is a group dynamic which I thought was interesting. And then I had another idea that previous movies I worked a lot with voiceovers, and with this one I wanted to try not to use voiceovers, but rather communication between people. So this group was kind of giving me those scenes, and I didn't know how much time I would be allowed to be in Pridnestrovье to shoot. So it was a little bit of a gamble to I could never know that they would welcome me back. And sometimes they would give me permission to shoot, sometimes they would not give me permission to shoot. But I had been there during the summer, and I felt that I was not done with the characters and with the story. And when I came back, all these things happened for Tolja with the mental institutions, and then I felt, okay, for his sake and for our relationship, I need to continue shooting, and I want to come back also in the winter. So in between the different shootings, I was editing, translating, and doing, syncing the sound and the image. So I spent a lot of time with the material, and it was during these breaks that the developing of the story. And it was just that I felt that, okay, well, so much happens in the life of a 17-year-old. So during 1 year, if I just follow the seasons, and I trust that small things can make a movie, I can do it. So it was like an easy structure that I try to follow, and a lot of things happened. I mean, Tanya develops a lot, and compared to the boys, which is maybe also like a I don't know, recognizable, I think.
And what mental illness had the Tolia?
He actually doesn't really have a mental illness, I think. He has a visual issue, and I think it's something called the dancing eye syndrome. It's like when the eye goes like this, and it affects sometimes the balance and other things. And but he has been with the psychiatrists for more or less all his life.
What do you believe is the importance of this geographical context there? Because the story is very personal, but the title of the film makes you think all the time about this context, about the place where they are, and maybe you have some thoughts about how this place has affected the lives of the people.
I think it for me it is a country, I mean, that is not recognized. So it's a country that is not recognized. Still, there is this young people who live there, and don't laugh at me. And so I feel like I felt that it would be. I think that you can make a story many different places with young people, and you will have similarities in how they interact with each other. So that's how I can mirror myself as an outsider. I can mirror myself in their emotion. But to have a title of the movie which was something poetic, like Across the River or something, maybe more poetic, then I would not put them on the map. And I would like to put them on the map, that they actually exist here, whether or not we say that this is a country or a place or not. They do exist, and this is the situation they're in. And I cannot explain the whole context of the movie or the country, and I would definitely not be allowed to shoot a different kind of movie, I think. For me, I was allowed because I was making a love story, or I was following the young. So this is that's the combination. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Что ж, спасибо большое, Анна, спасибо большое маленькому человеку, что он
Спасибо.
проспал все это время. Спасибо всем. Следующий сеанс через 5 минут.
Thank you.